Howdy, this is Paul from buildwithfoam.com, and I'm here today to show you how to install our wall flattening shims. Inside each shim kit, you'll find over 900 shims in 7 different thicknesses, allowing you to dial in with precision. They are color-coded to allow for easy identification of what thickness you need and what thickness you've already applied to the wall. Here's our color chart to remind you of what color each thickness is, a QR code going to our instructions on YouTube, and you can also order more when you run out. Included in our kit comes our custom measuring depth gauge, and we'll talk more about this later in the video. All the tools you'll need are a laser, a straight edge or level, a caulking gun with your favorite adhesive, and a tape measure you already have. The first step is to mark the studs at the intervals where your fasteners go. Every wallboard manufacturer has their own prescribed spacing. Always follow the wallboard manufacturer's instructions. In this case, we're going to be marking these at 1 foot intervals. Pro tip, to make it easy for yourself, instead of marking it exactly at the foot interval for the first mark, add an extra 1/4 inch. That will get you an extra 1/4 inch of play at the bottom in case your floor isn't as flat as you'd like it to be. So you can plot the locations of your fasteners using a tape measure and a level and a Sharpie, but there's a faster way to get it done that's more accurate. A common, ordinary self-leveling laser will really speed the job. We've made this story pole so that when we move the laser, it raises the height at exactly the same height as our fasteners need to be, in this case at 1 foot intervals. If you're doing this work repeatedly, this story pole will really save you a lot of time. The next step is to mark your floor about 4 inches off the wall. That's usually enough for bulging insulation and plumbing fixtures to get around the laser. You can go as wide as 6 inches if you need to. It doesn't matter what the measurement is, as long as it is parallel marked off the salt plate. Here's a pro tip. If you have a laser like this that shoots perpendicular vertical lines, you can get this wall and this wall squared and plumb at the same time. The next step is to find out where these walls lean into you the most. And for that, you can use our included measuring gauge or an ordinary tape measure. To how to use the gauge, you simply pick some spots on the wall to find out where it sticks out to you the most. That's where you would line up the laser with the 0 mark. In this case, this nail plate sticks out the most, so we've lined up this gauge with our laser. That makes it easy, so when you go to find out what shims you need, you simply go to the next location. The laser is pointing at 3/16, which in this case is yellow. Here's a pro tip. If you're working by yourself and you know you need a yellow shim at this location, you can either glue one on right away or simply mark the stud for what size you need and come back and glue them all on later. If we've done our job correctly, somewhere on each wall there will be a 0 measurement where no shim is needed. If you're doing 2 walls at the same time, you want to complete one wall before moving on to the next, so you move your shim gauge only 1 time per wall. So now comes the fun part of the job. You get to install our shims. Just pick one up, put a bead of adhesive on the back, and press into place. We prefer PL3 because it has the right consistency. It's thick enough to hold the shims on the wall while you're working. It's readily available and runs about $5 a tube. If you need thicker than the shims that come out of the box, you can always add shims to get the thickness that you need. You can check your work as you go using our shim gauge or with a level. One of the cool things about our shims is if you're placing blocking for shower wands or handicap bars, you just set the surface of the blocking with our shims so that this blocking will be exactly at the back of your wall panel for perfect support. If your wallboard manufacturer allows, this feature is pretty cool. When combined with our shims, you simply slit the back of the wall panel and then fold it in the corner, and you wind up with these nice, crisp, pretty corners all the way up and down the wall. Another pro tip, if you're sharing a stud with some drywall, you can extend your shims behind the drywall so that when you apply your drywall, you get a nice, smooth, seamless transition. Our shims can also be used for ceilings as well as depth gauges on floors for self-leveling pours. They're available on our website, builtwithfoam.com. Please share your experience using our shims with other tile pros on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And don't forget to like and subscribe below.